Evander, it's coming up on just over 10 months since you played a game. I'm assuming excited to play would be an understatement. But can you give us an update on just how you feel, and are you going to be ready for the playoffs?
Yeah, no, I'm feeling good. I've put in a lot of hard work ever since I had the surgery, and then obviously the knee surgery. Kind of right when I was about to come back and start skating. Put in a lot of work to feel really good up until this point, and I'm really excited to get going here. As soon as we get to 100%, which should be pretty soon.
What's the final step to get clearance to play?
I don't know exactly what the final step might be, or maybe I don't want to share it, but I think we're really close. Like I said, right from the get-go, I put in a lot of work to not have to have any setbacks through this entire process. I think you see it around the league, obviously with our team and the way some of the injuries have gone. It can be tough. I think I mentioned too, at the beginning of the year in my press conference, kind of before I had surgery, is, one of the things I want to make sure is that I don't end up back on an operating table again. So for me, that was really important. That's why I wanted to, go through the summer and have that type of a process to select the right medical team to kind of go through this rehab year with. And, I'm really, really happy with how everything's gone and my recovery. And I'm feeling really good on the ice. And, if you ask me if I'm ready for game one, I think I could barely skate, and I played in the playoffs last year. So, if you're comparing how I felt now to last year, I'm ready to go.
What happened with the knee? Like that kind of, it seemed to not come out of nowhere, but it was almost.
It was something that it was very weird. It was probably 10 days after I had surgery. I was walking up the stairs, and I just kind of felt a bit of it was stuck, like it was sticky every time when I would stand up straight, and it kind of went away for about a month, and I didn't really think much of it. But then it started kind of happening a little bit more regularly, where it was affecting me. It was becoming a little painful. So then we got an MRI, and there's a bit of a mass, benign mass that was kind of wrapped around my ACL and my PCL. So we were able to get that removed, which is great. Haven't felt that issue come up again, and feeling good.
Yeah, Evander, would you like to play one game before the playoffs, just to see, okay, now I played like Landeskog right now, at least to play a game where all of a sudden he's in the playoffs?
Yeah, I think everybody's situation is a little different. He obviously hasn't played in 3 years. With me, obviously, I've missed a good chunk of time, but I like to think I've been really diligent and working towards coming back ready to be the player that I can be. And if that's a game before the playoffs, if that's game one, I'm not sure quite yet, but what I do know is that I want to be a big contributor to help this team win, and I feel I'm really close to being able to do that.
Do you think of perhaps going to the minors?
It was never discussed.
So what do you think's realistic after missing this much time? You've had layoffs before and come back and play well.
Yeah.
But this is a little longer. So what's your expectation for yourself?
Obviously every individual has expectations. You have, self-belief. I have a lot of self-belief. I think just kind of going off last year, which is kind of the closest play I've had, and how I felt throughout that year and what I was able to do, that gives me confidence with how I feel now. I think, I kind of maybe compared a little bit to when I first came here. I kind of came off my couch. I was out of shape, and was lucky enough to have one go off my skate to kind of get me going. But, so I feel a lot more confident coming back this year at this time, being in shape, being ready, and feeling as good as I possibly can for when I do come back.
Evander, you've been skating for a long time. Has there been a kind of a time where you felt like you've been ready, or like you know what I mean? Like you've been skating now for a few weeks with the team?
Yeah, I think, part of it, we had that break too with the Four Nations, and obviously I was just kind of starting to have my knee feel a little bit better. So, when you're off that long and you have surgery also that's never been done before, they've never done both sides at the same time, with the procedure, with the type of procedure I've had. So kind of a guinea pig in that sense. And I think that was, kind of played into the mindset and the type of rehab I did and the entire process of taking my time, making sure that, we're gradually getting better and better each and every day so that we don't have any setbacks. And I think so far we've done a great job of that.
Other than the off season, have you ever practiced this much? Like, are you getting sick of practicing?
No, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it.
What's it been like? Congratulations on the addition to the family, but I know there was a little bit of an extended time in hospital and such, so
Yeah.
trying to balance family with this, getting yourself ready to play, what's that been like for you here?
Yeah, no, it's, there's pros and cons to a lot of situations. Obviously, I was hurt and unable to do anything for the first couple of months there, but having a pregnant wife back home and 3 other small kids, it gave me some time to spend some time at home with the family, which was nice. And then obviously the birth of our daughter, getting her out of the hospital finally was nice. And, the team let me come back and bring her home, which was a nice gesture as well.
What have you thought of the team this year? This is a totally different team than the one, in a lot of ways, to the one you played on last season. What have you seen, Evander?
Well, it's probably going to be a totally different team game 1 as well. So, but no, I mean, guys have I think kind of handled the roller coaster ride, at least of late here, pretty well. It was a great game last night. Different guys stepping up and putting the puck in the back of the net, and Stu coming back and having a big game. But I think it's been it hasn't probably been as smooth as anybody would have liked it. Just watching as a fan and from upstairs. But we've put ourselves in a position to be in the playoffs, to give ourselves a shot. We got LA again this year for the 4th time in a row, so that's always fun. And 2 familiar teams that like kicking the playoffs off against each other. So I'm looking forward to that.